organization name, the method of production which it is using, even though it is not required, but in order to give you a perspective, so there is a competitive disadvantage that we have. Hello, dear students. I hope you would be well. Your SBL pre-scene is out. And as always, we are going to conduct a thorough analysis of the pre-scene. And the idea is to equip you and prepare you for the exam day, because the paper obviously will be based on the data given in this, even though it is not limited to the pre-scene. And uh, I would highly recommend that if you have not already gone through our video on how to use a pre-scene, it's a brief video. I would urge you to go and see that as well, because you do not want to be overwhelmed by the this pre-scene, even though we go into deep analysis, but that is just to prepare you for the exam day. Now, what will we cover in today's discussion? As always, there are two sections to it. The first is the industry analysis, and the other is the business or the organization specific analysis, which is Dearn shoes or Dearn shoes in our case this time. We will be discussing different areas. We will be discussing different uh, statements available in the pre-scene. And I would recommend that when you're watching this video, you should have your preferably printed version of the pre-scene. If not, then at least get that document open in your another window, so that when I discuss things with you, you could refer to that particular paragraph or sentence and mark it out with yourself. Even though we will be making this uh, these slides available for you as in a PDF format as well. During the discussion, I'll also be discussing about different possible scenarios and different models that could be tested or could be taken help from in the on the exam day. So let's get started with it. Just a background introduction to make you aware. The first few sentences are telling us about this organization, Dearn Shoes or Dearn. It is about 100 years old organization which is operating in a hypothetical country of Luckland, which is developed and politically stable. So this very word tells you something, that we could be indulging in pastel analysis right away. And later part of the discussion, I'll be touching upon this in detail. It is the fourth largest shoe manufacturer and retailer in the Luckland. We will be discussing about the other competitors. There will be discussing different analyses based on the data given in the pre-scene. There is a table given, table two. We'll be discussing about that. And in the company analysis, we will be discussing about the products that they are producing, and we'll be linking it up with the SWOT analysis as well. Now, the legacy, this is a legacy brand. Obviously, 100 years is something. With embedded culture and stakeholder expectations, likely issues to arise during change resistance. And we will be discussing a lot about this. Innovation with the changing environment, we'll see how the industry is changing. And governance, a very, very important area. And there are certain aspects of the pre-scene, some statements have been made, which will, or rather should, intrigue your skepticism skills. So let's get into it. The first portion that we are going to discuss is the background of the industry and the detail of the industry that we are going to operate in, and that will be the industry analysis. Now, I have converted or summarized the data given in the pre-scene into these bite-sized bullet points so that you can refer to these. I believe that these will be understandable easily and could be recalled quickly when you're in the exam setting. So our suggested year is 2014. The growth trend overall in the industry is showing it is slowing down from 1.7%, and with a 5-year forecast, after 5-year forecast, it is going to be, it is about 1.06%. There are five major players in the industry which are controlling 45% of the industry, its market share, and Dearn obviously is one of them. It has 9.4% share. There are 200 other smaller organizations, and within these, we will be talking about a certain one which is rising, and it is doing something which will link us to the innovation category. The dominant materials that are used, synthetic leather, this trend is on the rise. Traditionally, it was made with the organic leather, and the leather requirement, the pure actual or the natural leather is declining. Why is it declining? We'll be talking about it and linking it to the sustainability and as well as environmental impact. The production, there are two areas of the production. One is the mass production, which is mechanized and offshore. It is capital intensive. And there are certain organizations, Dearn included, which we will be specifically talking about. They are offshoring their major productions to another country, which is Scotland. Some areas are, some shoes or some specific areas are handcrafted. These are Luckland based, higher quality, and therefore they can charge higher prices and higher margin is available. Obviously, this would require skilled labor, and because of that, the products are sold at a higher price. Excuse me. All right. There are overall 4 categories of shoes discussed. Formal shoes, which are mostly handcrafted, semi-formal, casual, and children's shoes. Market segmentation is very clear and it is relevant for strategic positioning, and we will discuss it when we will be comparing different organizations. Okay. Here it comes. The market structure. It will be on the table 2 on your document, on your briefing document. It shows that Dearn offers the widest range of the product, and that would be a plus point from the SWOT analysis point of view. It is offering all 4 types. When we look at the other organization, they are picking and choosing, not offering all the types. Rigo and Flamingo dominate the casual and children segments respectively. Parrish dominates high-end handcrafted formal shoes. This is the extract, or sorry, image from the exact table which is available in your pre-scene. Now, the criteria that we discussed is the organization name, the method of production which it is using, the type of goods it is producing, the target market. This is going to be very important when we are talking about positioning and market segmentation. What is the price point? That is also of importance. And what is the share of Luckland market in 2014? Okay. The highest market share we can see is that of Rigo, which is going for mass production, good quality, and primarily the casual shoes market is dominated by this one. So the target market is from 18 to 30 years old, and the price point is high, and it has gained. So there is a linkage between these two as well. And based on the casual shoes, and when you link all of these up, it shows you that they are not only at the highest market share level, but their products are liked by the target segment, even though the price point is high. So they must be doing something good. Flamingo mass production, their quality is low, and they are sort of competing with Rigo. They are offering casual shoes and they are competing in low price category. could be possible they started with the market penetration strategy. Okay, and as well as they are dealing in children's shoes, because Dearn is our organization or our focal organization. So we should be linking all of these with the uh, with this. So their basic is hand. They're going for both. Unlike Rigo and Flamingo, they are going for handcrafting as well as mass production. They offer good quality products, and primarily this is the important area. They are targeting on all four segments of the market. All four types of shoes are being offered by them, and adults and children. Now, because they are offering all types, they are going for a medium price point. Obviously, some would be at a higher level and some would be at a lower level. And they have 9.4 market share, which puts them almost in the middle of the market, in the top leading ones. Okay. Parish, just a minute. That would make it the third largest, not the fourth. It was taken in the beginning. Okay. Parish are focusing, unlike the upper ones, they are focusing on handcrafted goods, and they are focusing on formal shoes only, unlike the others. And they are obviously, when they are going for formal shoes, that would be mostly for adults, which would be using it for office wear. And their price point is high, and that links you to the handcrafting model, because it is going to have skilled labor. It needs to have a good high price point. They have 8.9% of market share. Better buy. Mass production, good quality, semi-formal shoes and children's shoes. They are focusing on adults and children. Medium price point 5.1. And within the smaller organization, we have all types of organization available, which are about 200 organization. And one of them we will discuss. Now, what are the sales channel? About 85% are the local sales, and 60% of these are offline, and 25% of these are online. Here, a very important point is that Dearn performs not up to the required level. We will see a particular area in which we will see that they are lagging behind due to some reasons. We will talk about that later. Export only 15%. Overall industry is exporting 15% of its products, and those are mainly handcrafted, and especially to those countries where there is increasing disposable income, and that can come in handy from our pastel analysis. And also we will be linking that up as a possible international or global opportunity when we are talking about the pastel analysis of Dearn shoes. They do not export. That's a major problem, and lacks home delivery as well. And this home delivery issue is linked up with the underperformance in the local market. Okay, and we will see that the trend is actually increasing, but because of that, they do not offer home delivery. Therefore, this is a big red flag on both areas. Rather, we could say that they are losing on major opportunities that could be made available for them to expand. Why are they not doing that? We'll come to that later on, and that will be linking us to our risk appetite, and the fact that they have mentioned that their major area is they are risk avert type of board is there, and that is not taking risk. So we'll talk about it in a while. So what are the challenges? Increased demand for fast fashion, that is changing, and that will take us to our social factors and changing trends, shifting towards low cost, low price shoes due to local economic downturn. Now, here is an interesting point. Globally, we see that there is an increase in the disposable income, which shows us a positive economic value. Whereas locally, there is an economic downturn, because of which people are not focusing on high-end products. Environmental and ethical sourcing is growing very important. Again, this is going to be in the environmental as well as social trends. people are talking about the impact of these products, the shoes manufactured, their process, and their impact on the environment as well. Returns and sustainability, these are the pain point in the online retail store. We'll talk about it that we have certain procedures that the return policies are very, very favorable for the customers. They are not charged for returning the product, and for that reason they may buy more than what they require, because one point is that there is no particular a standardized scale for the, especially when we go global. There is no standardized scale. So when I am ordering, for example, from another country, and I am skeptical that I may not get the shoe which fits my size. Now, what I would do, one idea could be I get one. If it doesn't fit, I return it and get another one, but I will have to wait. Now that the organizations are offering free returns, no charges from the customers, what they do, they get two or three pairs. The one that fits them, that is fine, they keep it. The remaining, they send back. And that is affecting not only our delivery charges and costs. Obviously, the delivery service agency would be charging us for that, but it is also impacting the overall environment as well, because obviously we have to produce more. There are innovations. For example, 3D printing is going on, intelligent shoes, or in our language, in most common language, we say smart shoes, which have different capabilities, like they keep a track. They could be connected with your smartphone, and you could keep a track of your steps taken and things like that. VR and AR trends, Dearn here also is lagging behind. Eco-conscious competitors are there, and here a smaller organization, Kind Shoes Company, is gaining a market share in this area, because they are producing in such a way and presenting themselves to be eco-friendly organization. The regulations from the government, or there is a support from LSA, the Luckland Shoe Association, and here we can link it up with the Porter's Diamond. Here's an important point. This key area, made in Luckland, they are making this mark a prestigious one. So Dearn, it has this mark, and because they are there for about 100 years and they have a reputation. So made in Luckland, like a symbol of prestige, a symbol of high quality, that is involved in it. Obviously, there are certain requirements, just like we study in the different standards, manufacturing standards like ISOs and fair trade mark. So there is a whole procedure. They have to apply and get the proper certification, and then they can market their product with this trademark. Trade unions, they influence HR decisions. But we will see that people in this particular R point or organization are very happy, they are very loyal. The overall industry overview, there are different opportunities available. Sustainability trends are growing. They could support high margin handcrafted shoes. Export market potential for Luckland. This is a key area. And young customers want personalization and tech-based experiences that could be linked to the innovation. The threats are that fast fashion demands quick turnaround. Dearn is slow here, and obviously it will affect all of them, because the fashion trends are changing quickly, and that obviously affects the shoe industry. Economic slowdown there goes with the price sensitivity, and poor sourcing ethics from Exco is growing, that we will discuss about in a while. Okay, that is a reputational risk. This Exco is basically this rather should be linked with the business analysis. Exco is the company with which they are partnered with, and they produce the outsourced or offshore products for them. Okay. Now we will be discussing the company analysis in detail, the Dearn shoes. Starting with the first area, the business overview. This is a legacy business with MIL trademark, and over 100 years, about 100 years, they outsource most of the products to Exco in Scotland. They get it from there, except the formal shoes, which are handmade and they are produced by them locally in a particular area and where they have one production plant. Quality issues from Exco are increasing. Potential reputational and operational risk are linked over there. Okay. Why is that? There is a problem with the company, and they initially entered into this deal because the legal requirements or the restrictions are not of a higher standard in Scotland. So that was in a potential benefit for them. Now, when we talk about the company ownership, it is 70% is owned by the founder's family and 15% by the directors. And this is not a listed company. However, the owners, even though they have 70%, they are not very much into managing the business itself. They're happy the way it is going on, and the directors are running the show. The most important key point is this one from my perspective. There is no audit, nominations or remuneration committees or governance and control implications. This could be tested in the area. However, there is a very interesting uh, uh, sentence in your pre-scene, and let me pull it up and I would give you specifically which page and which sentence is that, and you should mark it with you. Yes, that would be on page 7, the second last paragraph. Page 7, second last paragraph. It says, and this is something that should intrigue your skepticism. Dearn is not listed on Lachlan Stock Exchange, means it is not a listed company, but governance arrangements are consistent with good practice corporate governance. Now, we will find no evidence of good corporate governance in the whole case study. Rather, the opposite of it, the contrary to it. There are no proper committees there. They are not much interested in that. And rather, the NEDs also are there just for like a moral support sort of a thing. Now, I believe this area could be tested in the paper. You may be asked to critically analyze the situation or be skeptic, and some skepticism marks could be attached to it. I'll be talking about this area in a while in detail. Okay. Key stakeholders are the staff, Exco Limited, from which they are majority products are being produced. DT Global is their transport or logistics partner, and the retail customers. Strong employee loyalty, a very important key point, but they depend on external manufacturing by Exco Limited. So that could be like a shaky point. Okay. Now I'm going to discuss with you in detail that governance structure. First of all, they are relying on a functional structure rather than having a divisional structure, even though they are dealing in all types of products. But for them, because they are risk averse culture, they are not they are having a proper control over every step. So more of an operational type of strategy is going on there. They have a top-down hierarchical structure, risk-averse board, tenure is greater than all the members. There are long-term there. And this actually could be good in some way, but the problem we know that we would not have a fresh perspective, and that is showing. They have challenges with innovation and adaptation, and being risk-averse board, they are not going for a kind of a change. Now, even though it is not required, but in order to give you a perspective, I have included the good corporate governance under the UK code. We know it is the principle based approach. So some good governance practices from the UK point so that you have a point of reference and what is Dearn doing and further my comments on that. Now, first of all, the board composition. It is a balance of executive and non-executive. It should be a balance of executive and non-executive according to UK code. But Dearn's reality is that executive heavy board is there. with entities but no evidence of independence. What is the problem with this? No information is given on whether entities are truly independent or effective. They just have a token presence just to show off that yes, we are. Now, the problem here is that because they are not a listed company, they may not be required to do that. But we also know that the company, if does not have these internal controls and proper corporate governance, it will have different problems. And when we go to the financial analysis, we will see that with the changing environment that is affecting them and they are not able to respond accordingly. The board committees should be there, audit, nomination, remuneration should be mandatory for best practice. Dearn has none whatsoever. This is a major weakness. There is no audit committee that would lead to weak financial oversight. There's no nomination, poor succession, and they are relying on like 20 years of services there. Now, obviously, some would be old, some would be near retirement stage. Who is going to take over for the next generation? There is no planning, no remuneration board, so unregulated directors' pay would be there, and that could also lead to different agency costs. Board refreshment, regular renewals should be there, rotation should be there, skill diversity will be there, but there have been none. Their directors have been with Dearn for more than 20 years. Risk of groupthink. Now they think alike, and that we can see when we say that this is a risk averse board. They are not taking risks. Complacency will be there, and lack of this. These are possibilities, even though they are happy. But generally, this could be a problem. Little or external perspective is there. That is a big problem here. Then accountability. There should be clear performance measure and reporting lines because this is a top-down functional structure and risk-averse structure. This is a highly unlikely approach. Efficiency focused but lacks strategic agility. Yes, they are focusing, and yes, they are liked by people, and yes, they are in the top tier of their industry. But we will see that that is going down. There is no evidence of challenge or independent scrutiny. Stakeholder engagement. Board should engage with the stakeholder and wider stakeholders. Family owns 70% shares but has no board presence. Now, they are the major stakeholders without any board presence. Strange detachment between ownership and management. There is no public scrutiny. Now, this is kind of a very strange area because we see that usually when there is such a big uh, investment, the family members would want to be part of the decision making process. Now, the pre-scene does not give us any evidence or does not give us any hint per se as to why is that. So there is a possibility that that area could be tested in the paper. For example, I would say that uh, a the family wants or it gets aware, or they would want you to report to them on the change that is required and how they could be involved in the decision making process. Having 70% vote, there is no stopping. They can easily get their own directors on the board, their own family members on the board. Okay. Risk management, effective identification and mitigation, a major portion of our course, there is none. They have a risk register, but poor action on key areas. For example, quality issues, online strategy, there is no such thing in that. Internal audit reports to CFO, these are not independent, there is a weak oversight. When your internal audit is not reporting to the audit committee, there are different possible risks involved, and that is very obvious. There are different threats available to them, so they cannot be independent. Their judgment is not independent, and the recommendation they would make or might make would not be of top quality, and this is a weak oversight. Transparency should be there, clear reporting, whistleblowing disclosure should be there, with their protection should be there. There is no public listing and there is limited disclosure. They may be not wanting to go public because of this reason. And based on that, we could lead to the further uh, discussion on the possibility of share issues and debenture issues. When they are not listed, they are missing out on those possibilities to raise funds from those sources. There is no regulatory pressure on them. Opaque decision making environment is there, and in this changing environment, that would not be suitable. Okay, product portfolio. They have all four types. Formal shoes are mostly handcrafted in Lackland. They market leader in semi-formal and children's area. They are weak in casual segment, 18 to 30 age group, and which is dominated by Rigo. Now, I've included a general idea to give you a broad perspective of what a SWOT analysis could be applied on their product portfolio. For example, formal shoes market, semi-formal shoes, casuals, and children's shoes. The strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I'll take some time to discuss on these areas. Now, formal shoes, they are mill-marked, handcrafted in Luckland. They are high quality and ethically sourced, leverage traditional brand values, which is of good importance in the area. The weakness is that they are not market leader is here the parish one lead. And high cost structure are another important area. Opportunities could be potential export product because this is a high end product. They have a and they charge high, and we see that there is a global trend of having higher level of. We know that there is a higher global increase in the disposable income, so that could be a very lucrative um, area there which they could exploit. 15% of industry exports are handcrafted, growing demand for ethical and sustainable products which they are making. So that could be their forte. Now, the threats are market perception dominated by parish, rising new material and labor cost in Luckland. And because these handcrafted shoes have to be handmade, then the skilled labor is there, and there is a labor union as well that could provide potential risks. So here we could link it up with different stakeholders and industry analysis as well. Semi-formal shoes, Dearn is the market leader here. Strong brand loyalty from the older customers, lower price than formal shoes. These are the strengths. They have limited growth segments, aging and fixed market is there. They have not been exploiting that. Manufactured offshore and therefore which has a quality concerns. Now, opportunities are loyal customer base allows upselling and or bundling, meaning they can have different scope ups with that. Scope to modernize design to appeal to youngers and seniors as well. This goes to the innovation idea. Okay, there is also an opportunity for digital marketing, but that goes okay. That is for the casual one, even though it can be linked up here as well. The threats are the economic downturn affecting mid-tier product sales. We know that along with the lower end income ends, the mid-income people also get affected by the downturns. So because this market is a local market, even though they are loyal customers, but still at the same time, the economic downturn will affect their sales. Expose production issues risk damaging reputation. Now, casual shoes completes product portfolio, targets fast fashion driven segment, underperforms in this segment. Rego here dominates. Weak youth engagement is there, so we could have different programs or engage different youth representatives here. That could be an idea. Style updates only annually, and because of the fashion changes very rapidly, or we can say rapid fashion changes, this is a major weakness that we have. Now, opportunity for digital marketing, influencer branding, because we can focus the youth. So you can link it up to this. Uh, Potential use of 3D printing and customization, entry point into smart shoes. Okay. Fast changing trends Dearn can currently respond to because risk averse strategy. Low brand loyalty among the youth for Dearn. The major area that we saw here as a loyal customer base in the semi-formal shoes that is not available in the casual shoes. Finally, in children's market, they are market leader, excellent in store fitting service, high reputation amongst parents who want to buy shoes for the children. Problem is that is manufactured offshore and rising quality issues. Now we see that this is coming again and again, and this is the major issue that we will have to focus upon. And with that, we could link the supply chain management and our production lines. Retail only model limits the convenience, no home delivery. That is a major issue, and that is for it could be weakness for all of them. Now, they could expand child-centric digital tools, for example, virtual sizing apps, expand into school shoe contracts or bundle offers. The threats are returns due to sizing inaccuracies and competitor tiptoe growing in the popularity. The other companies are expanding in that area as well. Okay, manufacturing and sales. Expo handles mass-produced shoes, and because of their delays and faults are increasing, because the customers are not going to worry about Expo. They know Dearn, and when they are not getting their quality products and there are delays in production and orders, then obviously you are going to lose on your market, and we will see the downward trend as well. Online channels only 12%. This is a major area. There is no home delivery. They have to choose from their online website and then get and pick it up from the stores physically. There's no point in that, in running that. So you could um, check this out in this would be a major area, and they are behind competitors in this area. That could be a major point of discussion during the paper as well. How to improve and where we can go for e-marketing, and how could they enhance on that. Manual picking for online, automated for retail, inefficiency is flagged over here. Information system, their finance system needs upgrade. Inventory system, it lacks real-time visibility. Weak e-commerce platform that we have covered up there that affects digital market effectiveness. The risks, a major area here. Supply chain disruption, there are major quality issues with Expo. Limited offline offering, quality issues, sustainability pressures are there, for which they are not doing anything. Now, again, for this area, you could refer to your details on page number 9 of your pre-scene, 8 and 9, where board and organization structure is given. Now, even though we have been told in the beginning that there are sustainability issues and there are innovation requirements, when we look at the overall structure, we do not see any particular reference. They are our finance officers, operations officer, commercial officer, product officer, information officer, and human resource officer. That's it. There is no specifically mention of anyone dealing or trying to deal with the sustainability issues and the innovation issues. That's not there. So that is a major risk that we are facing internally. And economic downturn obviously is it's a major issue and major problem. Their vision and mission is focus on family, tradition, quality, and staff loyalty. Now, that definitely conflicts with the modern strategic needs. That is a major possibility that could be tested in the paper. All right. Now, here is an overview of pastel analysis. Luckland is politically stable. Outsourced manufacturing in Scotland with weak labor protection. There are weak labor protection that can go in favor of our organization. The strategic implications could be there is a stable base at home because of political stability. The problem is that ethical sourcing risk and reputational damage from Expo, because we are getting it from those areas which their labor protections are not so good. So that gives us ethical concerns. Economic issues, economy internally is slowing down in Luckland, and because of that, there is falling disposable income. However, export growth in high-end shoes, that because of the disposable income increase in other countries, there is a pressure on the mid-price product demand and opportunity in the handcraft products exports, which we are not dealing in right now. And that you can link it up with your SWOT analysis as well. I'll come to that in a while as well. Social factors, rising consumer awareness of ethics, environment, demand for fast fashion, Dearn underperform in the youth market here. Excuse me. There is a reputation risk from Totland sourcing, struggles we are struggling with 18 to 30 years olds. Loyalty from older family focus segments, that is a positive for us. Technological weak e-commerce functionality, outdated inventory system, and rise of 3D, because externally this is going to have, and this is happening. So there is a competitive disadvantage that we have. We do not have these capabilities, and we have shown no concern whatsoever about it. In the, at least in the pre-scene, there is no discussion on that. Maybe in the paper they would ask you to for the recommendation. Opportunity to invest in digital information transformation, there is always a likelihood for this. Environmental factor, industry 1.4 of global GHG emissions, lack of successful recycling initiatives. Competitors, they are promoting eco-friendly products, we are not. Environmental scrutiny, uh, or environmental audit, that is a strategic implication that could go negatively in our favor. Uh, can leverage MIL formal shoes as eco alternative. Having this trademark, they can make use of it. Legally, strong domestic compliance, HSN, labor data that is available. Weak legal environment in Scotland, increasing returns and customer rights pressure. And because internally, or rather generally, it is a policy that there are no return charges, so that are increasing returns. Okay, and protected IP and consumer trust in Luckline, that is a positive. The problem is the product recall risk from the poor overseas quality. So you have to focus on that area. Finally, we have the SWOT analysis. Just give me a minute. And then we will have graphs of the overall financial situation. Ultimately, what are the strengths for the Dearn shoes? They have strong brand heritage and MIL mark, leading in semi-formal and children's shoes, loyal staff, great in-store service, broad product portfolio. So you can make use of these when, especially this area could be when, if there is a question about change management, this could come in handy. Broad product portfolio, we could link this up to the uh, innovation and e-marketing. The problems are weak in digital and IT systems, so we could be asked about bringing some consultant views on how to upgrade these. No export or delivery service is there. How could we link these two up? Over reliance on exco, rising quality issues, suggestive answer for to deal with this problem, finding out other sources or multi-sourcing, or finding out the in other countries, maybe possibly where they have stronger um, protection for the employees, so that we could deal with the ethical concerns. And the major problem we would see again is risk averse leadership and no board committees, and that could lead us to the uh, risk identification up until risk mitigation. So a proper recommendation answer could be formulated from this. Opportunities are growth in ethical and export markets, digitalization and e-commerce investment, a major opportunity, aging population demands, eco product development, recycling initiative. That these are big pluses. Problems are poor outsourcing, quality harming, that is harming our reputation, economic downturn impacting mid-price sales, competitors innovating very fast, and youth disengagement. And that is a major problem with us. Finally, when we look at their overall data, the market share has been declining from about this point between 9.8 to 10, about 9.9, I believe, to 9.4 in this. And revenue, there had been a proper jump between these 2 years, but since then they have been declining. And gross profit margin, that is also on the decline, even though that is not much of a not that I wouldn't say much of a significance, because you see these two are the common points. So you can say that you reached a certain level and over the years you are on the same, even though it is a bit higher from the industry point of view, but still, if this trend is declining and we could compare it with our revenues and the declining market share, this could possibly further go down. Customer satisfaction, and that would also link up to the gross profit margin. That is a major problem for this organization. It grew up on in those areas, so we have a pattern here. They were a good, a healthy organization, a very active organization in just 4 years back. So a problem could arise. What has changed, or importantly, what has not changed? Meaning, we see from year 2012 the major decline in this area that is being shown. The staff satisfaction is on the only area which shows improvement. Okay. Now, I would be thinking why? Because you see, staff are in a comfort zone. They are in status quo. They are not demanded of high quality. Most of the products are produced out. Are they outsourced? There is risk aversion. They are not asked to go. They are not pressed on their limits, and that is from the top level down. So they are happy with it. So that could lead to a major problem. So this, we can say that staff satisfaction, even though it is a positive, it is a an important KPI. By the way, a strange thing is that there is no KPIs mentioned in this area. You may be required to develop KPIs uh, for the board, especially because usually in pre-seen material we have seen traditionally that the KPIs are given. In this one, we did not find any KPIs. So this means that there is a possibility that you may have to draft KPIs for the board at least. So we see that there has been a decline over the past few years, and these are very much in link with each other. Okay, with that, we are through with our session. I hope this overview would be of help for you when you are attempting the paper. I believe that the perspective, the change of perspective and the linkages are very important. Please remember that you are not to focus so much on the pre-scene that you lose perspective of the whole paper. And that is the guidance provided by ACC as well. Pre-scene is just a frame of reference. And the idea is to know where what is written. Now, I would recommend that you do go through these slides as well, but do go through the SBL, the pre-scene a number of times, not extensively, but to the extent the objective would be that on the exam day, when there is something which you need to refer to your pre-scene, you know on which page would you find it. That's it. The rest of the thing, if you watch this video 1 or 2 times, that will fit in your mind. That will not be an issue, I hope. And the objective is, if you need to refer to some point, you could go back and quickly, rather than finding it out on the where in on what page it was. That is the objective. The rest of the analysis has been provided to you. So I wish you all the very best of luck for your paper, and I would highly encourage your feedback when you have attempted your paper as to how our guidance has helped you succeed in your paper. Thank you very much. Take care and goodbye.